What's up, y'all? It's your boy D. I'm here with my man T. And this is Saturday Morning Traffic, the greatest podcast, not the latest podcast. And today, we're going to touch on a few subjects, such as Patrick Mahomes, Kanye West, etc., or whatever else we feel like talking about, you know. 'Cause sometimes you got to wing it. You dig what I'm saying? But, yeah, Patrick Mahomes, how you feel about it, T?
Patrick Mahomes, 10 years, 450 million, up to 503 million with incentives and everything. 140 million guaranteed signing bonus. I think it's a little too long of a contract because with that TV deal money coming in about 3 years for the NFL, that will skyrocket. So I think it's a great contract for him. Not so much the Chiefs, but I think he's not going to fulfill the contract. I think he's going to renegotiate. He'll probably stay with the Chiefs, but he'll renegotiate something higher because more money, TV money, means the cap goes up, right? So I think that definitely will have an impact. So I don't think he'll fulfill this whole 10 years because I think they'll renegotiate it. What do you think?
I think it's a bad idea. I just think it's a really bad idea. For one, he's 24. Your frontal lobe hasn't even developed. So that adult part of your brain is not even activated. Let's get that out of the way first and foremost. Also, a $450 million contract over 10 years. That sounds like an NBA contract for if God played basketball in 2006. That's a ridiculous contract. Yes, money is fantastic. Yes, it looks good on paper. But what I was reading is that they own his likeness and other things like that. And when rappers have contracts, usually which is called a 360 deal. Like say for example, I sign a deal for $3 million. I get a $3 million advance. They own they own a percentage of everything that I do, my likeness, any deal that I do, they own a percentage of it. The only thing I think I would be able to keep is like my touring and things and other stuff like that. Money that comes directly to me from doing me directly. But anything digital, like, wouldn't come to me. So think about that. $450 million. You're 24 years old. It sounds amazing. Unless he's got a fantastic business team around him that's making sure he's always situated, hey, kudos to you. You just signed a great contract. What you think is good for you at 24 is never the same that's good for you at 34. Yeah, fried chicken every day, getting drunk, partying, making bad decisions, driving drunk, the occasional line of cocaine. Hey, I'm not saying I did it, but some people do it at 24, 34, married, kids, mortgage. Oh, now I got a credit score. Oh, now I got to pay insurance. Oh, life insurance. Oh, fire insurance. All kinds of insurance. I don't know why adults need that much insurance, but I'm just saying.
No, I feel you.
You don't need a contract that long, bro. You could have got a better chunk of money over a shorter span of time and then been able to renegotiate.
Let's talk about that, the length of time. Let's talk about that. Do you think it's just as bad a deal as the Scottie Pippen 8-year? I believe it was. Wasn't it like 8 years on the he was talking about? That's why he was locked in and like one of the top players in the world, but was like 200th in the league in getting paid.
Lengthwise, yes. I don't think like financially, obviously.
Not this way, yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely not that way, and just simply because he can renegotiate.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like he can renegotiate. If he can opt out for more money, I feel like he can opt out to renegotiate.
I think it's after the 5th year. I think after the 4th or 5th year.
Yeah, if after the 5th year then he can renegotiate, then he's not in as bad as a position as I think. But like I said, if you're not reading those, if the fine print, the I's aren't crossed and the I's aren't crossed. Wait, no, if the T's aren't crossed and the I's aren't dotted, then it might not be a great situation.
Let's kind of compare with the rap, right? So you're more thinking of like Ice Cube thinking when it was NWA, right? And maybe Mahomes is more of a Dr. Dre type, like, yeah, sign it. You're kind of hesitant about it, right?
See, you're wrong right there because Dr. Dre wasn't like that either. Dr. Dre ended up getting his chips at the end of the day, and so did Ice Cube. Ice Cube just went about it in a more brolic manner. But yeah,
gotcha.
Ice Cube, to me, from my perspective, Ice Cube was thinking of the long run, and I feel like that's the same thing with Dr. Dre. But in rap, you make a lot of money off your publishing in your masters, because your masters involves, like, say for example, I made a hit song in 1986 such as Journey, Don't Stop Believing, and I own my masters. Right. That means if a movie wants to license me, a commercial wants to have anything to do with that song, and
like copyright stuff.
Yeah, it's a company as big as what? Dr. Dre Beats, and they just want to play my spot like 6 to 7 seconds. Thank you. 6 to 7 seconds of my clip of my song behind Russell Westbrook doing a crossover, then that's it. And then it cuts off. Every time that commercial gets paid, I get a percentage of that. And then whoever else who's a part of that song gets a percentage of that. But the fact that I own the licensing means I get the biggest chunk. But that doesn't usually happen when it comes to stuff like that. But yeah, my personal belief, my feelings about the contract are, kudos, you got more money. But 5 years from now, when we're looking at the NFL, who's to say you're going to want to be with the Chiefs? And this might happen the next year. He might get injured. He might not be able to play. Things like that happen in the NFL.
Right.
Let alone any sport. So like I said, the ball's up in the air. We're going to see. But it's great for now. You know, we got COVID going on.
Right. Now, do you think there'll be in any sport, right? You know, the three majors, baseball, basketball, football. We've seen these type of contracts in baseball. Do you think after this, you think NBA or NFL will have more of these type of contracts?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Any NBA player willing to sign a 10-year, $450 million deal. Come on, man. Damian Lillard just signed a 5-year, what was it, $190 million deal?
Yeah, the Supermax. It was a Supermax.
Yeah, he signed the Supermax for 5 years, just for 5 years. 5 years.
I believe that's all. That's, I think right now in the NBA with the players, with Chris Paul at the head, and I think Kyrie Irving's right there with them. I think the Supermax 5 years is the most you can sign. I kind of like that more so. Like it gives, even if you're in a small market, that small market team can keep you because they can give you the most money. Where if you want to go to free agency, the max contract you can sign is a 4-year, but you have to be like all NBA to get that 5-year max, right? Yeah. So I kind of like that structure. I think anything past that is kind of it's more beneficial for the team more than the player.
And if you look at a lot of those old NBA contracts, like who was it? Eddie Curry. They tried to sign him to like a crazy 6 or 7 year deal with the New York Knicks, and this dude's like 35, trying to sign Latrell Sprewell for like what was it? I have what was it like 80, 90 million over like 6-7 years, and his excuse was, I have a family to feed. Forget that deal. Now look at him. You know. No disrespect, but you see how much of a negative response the NBA got when they had these dudes signing these crazy long contracts. Some of them got fulfilled, some of them didn't. Some of them was to the point to where the dude was trash. Y'all could have waived him, but sometimes that wasn't the case. Sometimes the dude could fulfill his contract.
Right, and like what we talked about before, about Kobe's last contract. Rest in peace, R.I.P. You know what I'm saying? But he never asked for that contract. He just never denied that contract. I mean, if that's your last contract, I wouldn't deny that either, right?
I mean, you can't argue with free money, basically, because he was injured most of that time anyways.
Yeah, Jeannie Buss is like, you've done so much for us. Here's your last contract. When they could have said, cut that in half and say, we're going to bring more talent for our championship. But that was more of
Fun fact.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, finish. I don't want to.
No, I'm just saying it's just like a lot of that shows how the Lakers organization or just Jeannie Buss as a person is, because most organizations won't do that. That's why you see players changing teams when they've been with the team their whole career, and then they see they're trying to go in another direction type of thing, which is understandable, because maybe I mean, look at what's his name? Aaron Rodgers leaving, right? That's the same type of thing where not taking care of him, right? Like, here's a fun fact.
Aaron Rodgers is still in Green Bay.
Yeah, he's leaving. He's leaving, bro.
But he's still in Green Bay.
Here's the thing. Here's a fun fact real quick about Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Since Aaron Rodgers got drafted, the Packers have not drafted an offensive player in the first or second round since he's been drafted. How crazy is that? To me, that's just
Pretty
super
bizarre.
ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So it's all on his shoulders. But let's go back to your fun fact.
So Michael Jordan was going to sign with the Knicks at one point. He didn't want to be with the Chicago Bulls anymore. I don't remember around what time it was, but I know when the Knicks were trying to sign him, at the time the Knicks didn't have an owner. So I think this was around the time he had either came back, because he finished his contract after the first three-peat, right? And then retired for 2 years and then came back.
Baseball, yeah. I think he
finished. So if he finished his contract, then okay, my storyline is correct. So he finished his contract, and this is in the midst of his retirement. He wants to come back. He hadn't signed with the team yet.
Right.
David Stern in the NBA was the commissioner of the NBA at the time. Rest in peace, David Stern.
Yes.
He was the owner of the Knicks. Apparently, he was also in. I think the owners of the Sheraton Hotel. I think he knew them too, or something like that. Or David Stern was the owner of the Sheraton Hotels around that time.
Yeah.
Anyways, to make a long story short, they were going to sign. Michael Jordan wanted to sign to the Knicks because he was going to get the most money. So what was going to happen was he was going to get a set amount of money from his Knicks contract, David Stern, but he was going to sign the max. He couldn't sign past a certain amount of money because of the cap space. David Stern owned the Sheraton Hotel. So what David Stern was going to do is he was going to act like he was going to set it up to where it looked like he was going in business with Michael Jordan and just give him the extra money that he would have received if he was able to sign him the max past that. So he was going to get his extra money from the Sheraton Hotel because David Stern and a couple other guys owned it, and they wanted Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan's going to bring money to the city, Sheraton Hotel.
Everything.
More businessmen are going to get money. What did the NBA do? Cut it. Can't happen. Not today. Nope. No sirree, Bob. So yeah, that was just my fun fact. That's crazy.
Just like the Chris Paul trade to get him to play with Kobe, bro.
I never got the chance to really dive into that.
Dude, they denied the trade. It was an equal trade. They denied it. So then they agreed to send him to the Clippers. But they approved that one. They did not.
Why did they deny the trade?
They didn't want. You know how many Kobe haters there is. They didn't want Kobe and Chris Paul on the same team. That's what it really came down to. Like, I'll have to look it up of what the trade was for that. But, like, they were giving up a good amount. Like, they probably wouldn't have had – because this was before they got Powell. So they were trying to get him help. Like, so they would have been, like, Kobe and Chris Paul on the same team. And this is Chris Paul, obviously, before he went to the Clippers because he was supposed to go to the Lakers, not the Clippers.
Yeah, so this was like
young Chris Paul.
Yeah, like your liver at 24 when you like, yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you what, bro. So at the end of the day, Kobe got 2 more, but yeah. But let's transition to a next topic, man. What are your thoughts on Kanye West saying that he's going to run for president? And part B, what are your thoughts of Elon Musk through Twitter supporting him?
So before I actually address it, I'm just gonna give you an analogy, and I'm gonna say it like this. So you read a recipe, right? And it says eggs, it says flour, it says vanilla extract, it says sugar. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to go and eat all those things separate and tell me what they taste like.
Okay.
It doesn't taste great.
No, it doesn't.
Kanye West is a fashion designer. Kanye West is a I guess you could say philanthropist. Kanye West is a producer. He's a man of many things. One thing he is not is a fucking politician. He is not a politician, bro. Stick to music. Stick to music. That's all I want you to do is stick
young
to music.
Kanye West, by the way.
We've had from Ronald Reagan to Donald Trump. We've had enough celebrities in office. Enough, bro. We've had enough. I love what you're saying as far as how you want to empower black people. You want to do these things. But politicians are like cups with nothing in them. Empty. It's empty promises. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it because I'm not going to give you an opportunity to prove action. And I love seeing my black folks win. That's great. That's cool. I know you have the mind power. It's a good thought. It sounds great. I don't, but no, just stick to music. You only do stuff like this. Excuse me. You only do stuff like this when you have something to push.
Right.
You got the Yeezy thing going on. You feel what I'm saying? You got you got music that you've been dropping that's not really making as much noise as you would want it to. Because in my eyes, if you should be worried about any, your main focus right now should be being out there on the streets with the people, doing something other than just donating. Like, there's so much more you could be doing other than this. You feel what I'm saying? You could be setting up shop on Skid Row, feeding homeless people. You could be doing a million other things. Why do you need to be running for president? Let somebody else handle that. And then all of a sudden we come out to find out your support for Donald Trump is fake. How do we know you don't want to run for president just to jump in office, just to change a bunch of stuff for your benefit and strictly your benefit only? Because I feel like he wants to run for president, but he doesn't understand the ins and outs of politics to the T. You feel what I'm saying? Like, running for Donald Trump and not and saying all just to show the division of blacks, to show the division of voting in the black community. Black community has the lowest voting numbers from my perspective that I've ever seen. We don't vote. We hardly ever vote. Usually when I ask my homie, oh, bro, I don't vote. I don't like who's out there. I don't like who's out there. I don't like who's out there, which is the main problem why we have issues that continue to go on and nothing really changes because we don't vote. They always say if you want to handle an issue, handle it on a state level, on a local level, and then on the state level, and then work your way up. You have to start small to go big. You dig what I'm saying? So with that situation, to make a long story short, no, absolutely not. There's no need to do that. Stick to music, bro. Stick to music.
I'm in the same boat. I'm like, stick to the Kardashian way. Stick to your music. Bring out those great hits you were when you were younger before the whole Kardashian thing. I think his music was great before that. Ever since, it's kind of it seems like anybody who gets with their Kardashians, they go downhill after.
Except for Ray J, dog. I hit it first, dog. I hit that thing first, man.
Right.
I hit it.
When I'm looking for a president, they have to have a law degree, dude. In my eyes, they should have a law degree so they know the actual laws, where as our current president is under investigation of breaking the law many times. And people looking the other way type of thing. And I think we need to somehow, I don't know if Biden's the answer either at the same time. I don't want to make this all political, because there's one thing I don't really like getting into is politics and religion. It's kind of sensitive topic for a lot of people, right? But if I would have to say, I was like, yeah, nah, bro, just stick to music, man.
I don't even want to get started on Trump, man. Like, I can't. Yeah, no, absolutely not, no. And I'll say this. I'll just say this. You are who you hang around.
Yes.
Trump spent time around Epstein, and I'll leave it at that. You can do your own research, and you can Google, and you can make your own. You can make your own interpretation and your own assumption of what that's supposed to look like and what's that supposed to feel like. Because I have a cousin who will fight me tooth and nail as to why Donald Trump is a good president, which is fine. That's cool. There's policies that he's passed. There's things that he may have done that have benefited a said group of people. You dig what I'm saying? But what's the big issue right now?
Right.
Police brutality. What are you? What? Maybe I haven't. Forgive me if I haven't done my research and I haven't seen anything pop up, or I'm not getting the proper notifications on my news app on my iPhone. But I haven't seen anything. All I've seen is, a lot of white actors stepping down from black roles. What is that gonna do for me? What is that gonna do for me? That's like telling me, oh man, we're not gonna give you white bread. We're just gonna give you wheat bread now. It's still bread. Like, what? It's still a cartoon at the end of the day. A cartoon is not conducive to my real life. That is entertainment. I need laws passed. I don't need watered down bills telling me, oh, we're going to ban certain chokeholds. Yeah, that's cool. That's great. They should have never been doing it in the first place. They did a list of things that they study at a police academy. Communication was the lowest one, bro. They don't know how to talk to us in these communities. You feel what I'm saying? They don't know how to conversate with us. And that's why I always say there should be black cops in black communities. Because when you grow up with people that look like you, you're more susceptible and you're more okay with, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that we shouldn't have white cops in those communities, but they should be better trained as to how to treat us. There's no reason when I get pulled over by the police, I feel like I'm losing my life. And when you get pulled over by the police, you have no fear. Granted, it can still happen to you, but your fear senses are lessened. You feel what I'm saying?
It is, yeah, for sure. Another thing that I want to add about that is, the black community, Black Lives Matter, it's really needed, but also is needed is that, like, the divide in right now, especially with coronavirus, people attacking like Asian communities because of COVID, but that has nothing to do with they're Americans. They don't live in China, right? Like, and another thing where they don't make a big deal about it, where it should be a big deal. Obviously, my girl, she's Latina, she's Mexican, first generation. Where when they were separating families at the Mexican border, they're American, but because they don't fully have their, they have work visas, but Donald Trump was knocking that out and separating families at the border, and all these kids are in orphanages. Like, that's a problem to me, of all aspects of all three that I just laid out. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts about those?
I mean, I look at it like this. Before we let anybody into our country, I feel like there should be a background check. There should be a mental health check. There should, if you're gonna police it that way, police it the right way. Search the right kind of things: a background check, a mental health check, a physical health, all the things that I feel like should be.
Cops,
you know
right
what
there.
I'm saying? And don't separate kids from their families. If you're gonna do some shit like that, like send them back to where they came from, at least let them take their kids with them. I mean, I don't think it's right in the first place for you to do something like that. Like, say for example, there's probably a family here right now that's not here, that's here without a green card, that's been here for God knows how long, but they know they've been living their life a certain way for so long they're so used to maneuvering like that, they don't, like, it's crazy, bro. Like
here's the thing. Here's an example. My buddy, he was brought here from Mexico when he was 2 years old. He's 30. So he's been here in California for 28 years. Speaks fluent Spanish, obviously, fluent English, everything. His whole life basically has been here, and they're trying to deport him. I'm like, dude, he's been here for 28 out of 30 years. Just because he doesn't have, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy to me. And it's just like, it's annoying. Because a lot of, like, with the COVID, all those jobs, picking berries, picking all that, field work, farm, cattle, all that. There's a lot of people who complain about, like, minorities and all that. But if you shut them away, you're not gonna get fruits and vegetables, man. like
there's a lot of shit you're not gonna get, man. But people don't see it like that, and that's where that white privilege bullshit comes in, bro. People don't see it like that, and the fact that you see it like that, that's why you my homie. That's why I rock with you, dog. You feel what I'm saying?
You already know.
My dark white brother.
But we ain't no Vanilla Ice, all right?
Oh, man. Hey, man, don't do Vanilla Ice like that, man. Bro was cool, man. He was cool.
Remember that Adam Sandler movie he was in?
Yeah.
8-track.
The chicken nuggets? Yeah, man, but enough about politics.
Let's move to the next one.
Let's move to the next subject. What else was we going to talk about?
Let's talk about the seasons coming up here. We got baseball about to start up. We got the NBA about to start up. NHL, Major League Soccer. And since they talked about it until now, you've seen the rise of coronavirus cases. And talking about Texas is talking about shutting down California, Florida, and that's where soccer and basketball are going to be playing their, quote unquote bubble. What are your thoughts on potentially reshut down? And if that happens, do you think they're just going to shut down the all sports seasons?
I personally think just call it quits, bro. Just let it go. It's like stop. Just stop. Just quit. It's like when you see your homie like keep going to the barbershop and his hairline just keep going further and further. Bro, just stop.
Like
Just
LeBron?
off,
like
man.
LeBron?
Bingo. There you go, bro. Just let it go, man. Cut it off, bro. Just cut it out, dude. Like, that's what we doing. That's how we rocking. Like, and then you see the lunches. Oh, they're gonna upgrade. They're gonna do this. They're gonna do that. Players are more worried about the social injustice. Some want to play and worry about that. Then you got the COVID cases rising, and if they keep getting higher, you're gonna shut it down, bro. Just shut it down. Play the players. I don't know what you hasn't paid. I don't know what the hell you would call it. Pay them what they will make for the rest of this year, so their families can eat comfortably. And call it good, man. Start up next year. And if next year don't work, well, guess what? That's when you figure something out. Because I feel like by then things might be a little bit better. But as far as what's going on right now, some states opening, some states being closed, some states being in this phase and that phase. I think it's best for shut it down. Let it go. Just shut it down.
My personal opinion is I think they should shut it down. A big reason why is you're going to have to use those tests before every game. That's every sport. Where, to me, I feel like, because they were talking about they don't have enough tests and all that, but they're willing to give it to professional sports because of money, right? Well, that's taken away from citizens of actually getting that test, who are actually sick, right? So I definitely have an issue with that. And I think, to be honest, I think it would just be smarter and potentially, I mean, there could be lawsuits, because of this, if they continue. But why don't you just wait until you actually have a vaccine? Boom. You get the vaccine, you're good. But, I mean, it is a year and a half away. They were talking about in March, right? They were saying that. So, I mean, by next year, they start just football season next year. You know what I mean? I just think it's too much of a risk. Yes, it's there's a lot of people recovering, not as many deaths, like ratio percentage-wise, but still, this is going to get a lot worse in the next you look September or October, November when it gets colder, right? It won't be as hot unless you're like Arizona, Nevada, those like desert places, right? I mean, here in the Bay, we have that wind off the ocean, so it does get cool. You know what I mean? So it'll attack, is what I've read, the colder temperatures. So I think that they have to take that into account. And you look at football, you really going to be playing outside during that time. Think about when we brought up Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay, that shit gets at 0 to 10 degrees playing in the snow. You easily can catch that, right? Like, so I think it should shut down, man. No doubt.
Let it go, bro. Just let it go. I'm not even. This is all Rudy Gobert's fault. This is all Rudy Gobert's fault. Yeah, man. Why? Come on, man. This is all your fault, bro.
Man, yeah. It's he was like that. Now I do want to get a comment of what Stephen A. Smith said.
Are you gonna yell it like he does?
Hey, should I? All right, let's do it. All right, and then. All right, Stephen A. Smith was like, he doesn't think that NBA players can control themselves socially in the bubble. Meaning, he doesn't think that they cannot have sex for that amount of time. What are your thoughts on that?
Wait a minute. Why is Steven? What is
it's outlandish.
What does that have to do with basketball?
It has nothing to do with basketball. Like, dude.
So why are we addressing it? Just for the simple fact that it's hilarious? Because this is funny.
Yes.
That's all I'm getting.
No, that's why I'm bringing it up, because it's hilarious. Like, dude, are you serious? If it's about hoop and ball and concentration, all their concentration.
Yeah, it's not about hooping and balls. Like, what? Dude is tripping, bro. Stephen A. Smith is wild, man.
Yeah. And then what I don't like is when one thing about when I was watching Skip and Shannon, dude, when they were talking about going back to the Mahomes deal. When they talk about the Mahomes, why do they always have to bring up Dak?
Who?
Dak Prescott.
What about that's not enough?
Like, I'm like, wait.
The 191 million guy?
Yeah. And then you know how Shannon is like, skip.
Come on now, Skip. Come on now, Skip.
But what are your thoughts? Like, it seems like they're always bringing up Dak, and Dak is, to me, is not even a top 5 quarterback in the league. Not even close. Like, he's
can't really argue top 5s and top 10s and stuff like that. But what I will say is, why? I don't know what to say. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's more so for the art in the show. I don't necessarily think there's a need to bring them two up, but I know when it comes to Skip and when it comes to
Cowboys.
When it comes to Shannon, a lot of it is just for the art, for the sake of the argument. Because I think they're both great. I think they're both great players. One's got the Chiefs, right?
Chiefs, yeah. Mahomes with the Chiefs. Dak is with the Cowboys.
All right, y'all gonna have to forgive me in advance. I don't watch a lot of football, so as the podcast gets better and the channel continues to grow, my football knowledge will grow as well. So don't be all up in the comments talking about, oh my God, he don't know nothing about football. Mind your business. Mind your business. I know how to fry chicken. If you don't know how to fry chicken, you think I'm gonna come in your house and tell you how to do it? No, because that is not my home. You feel what I'm saying? This is my home. Saturday morning traffic is my home.
Dude, that's like someone else
telling you what to do.
That's like someone else parenting your kids.
Oh man, I don't got kids, but I could. You better not tell my kid get off the seesaw.
You just tell me, and I'll take care of it. You know?
Yeah.
Nah. What other thing? You had a couple other things you want to go over, right?
I don't think that's it. I don't know. I don't think I got anything else I want to go over.
No, there's one thing. Baseball. Do you even think you go from 182 games to 60? And this is the funniest thing I've ever heard. People are paying like $200 to have their picture taken, put it as a cutout when they're playing games into the stands, so they can be on TV.
All right, dog. Now I don't have anything to say. I'm cool, bro. I'm good.
How crazy is that? Like, I was like, wait, you're just wasting your money at that time. Oh my gosh. And on a side note,
this is exactly why I'm never amazed at anything that anybody in America does. I'm never amazed. This almost reminds me of the time when Four Locos first came out and they were putting alcohol and caffeine in the same can. I'm not amazed. I can't. It's just.
Man, some of those were strong, bro. Man. I remember having a couple of those while playing Madden with my boys, pre-gaming. And then we would go down to downtown, downtown Anchorage. You already know about that.
Big shout out to the 907.
Absolutely. Yeah, but I think that's about it for today.
I think that's about it for today. We should shout out our Instagrams, man, and our Facebooks and stuff like that.
Well, we do have the Saturday morning traffic Facebook page. Go look at it. Everything we do on YouTube. Yes, we have our YouTube channel. Everything is there, but everything we do on there as well is on our Facebook page. So check it out. And what's happening Saturday?
We got a big debate going on, man. The NBA, the Saturday morning traffic Full Court Series Point Guard Edition. Isaiah Thomas versus Magic Irvin Johnson, a.k.a. Superman, because that motherfucker got AIDS and he got richer.
Businessman. He's not up.
Yeah,
He doesn't do
businessman.
business.
Because I'm a business, man. Come on. Talk to me. Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
But, yeah. Most definitely. Check out our Facebook. Check out our YouTube, man. We got a lot of things coming. We got a logo coming soon. Just a lot of dope stuff coming soon, man. We got a lot of stuff in store, man. So
we're just progressing, man.
Be ready, man. Yeah.
All right, guys. So that was our conversation today. What did you think about the discussions we had, man? Our topics.
I think we had some pretty interesting conversations. You know what I'm saying? We expressed our point of views. We got a lot across. We let the folks know how we feel about what's going on in the world right now as far as sports and, a little bit of politics, you know what I'm saying? And then everything else as far as the protests and social injustice is concerned. I feel like you made some good points. I feel like I made some good points. I feel like we made points together. I feel like we won as a team. I think it was pretty cool. But, yeah, like I said, we got the Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas debate coming up. But, yeah, it's your boy D. Here with my man T. This is Saturday Morning Traffic. Greatest podcast, not the latest podcast. And we out.